I like to do a lot of that kind of stuff over greens. Greens, 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 more greens. Greens are the most alkalizing food you can eat. So with every meal, you should always have like half of your plate should be greens. That's why we serve such big salads. And when you think about greens condensed down, that's not really that much compared to all these rich foods that are super concentrated. So just try and fill your plate with greens and maybe a little bit of side dishes. And it's going to help to alkalize you a lot quicker. Does everybody know about alkaline and acid, about how our bodies work with alkaline and acid?
No.
Okay, so the reason one of the reasons raw foods are so good for you, other than the fact that they're full of enzymes, is that they're alkalizing. And acid-forming foods are things like meat, cooked meat, and dairy, and grains. And those cause mucus and acid in the body, and that's why we become ill, because our body is acid. Now, our blood pH is 7.4. It will always be 7.4 no matter what. So what that means is that in order for it to remain at that alkalinity, it needs to rob minerals from our bones, because minerals are alkaline. So that's why we get osteoporosis, and that's why we get degenerative diseases, that's why we get tumors, because the body is freaking out trying to keep the blood alkaline. So the best way to keep your body alkaline is green juices, superfoods, greens. And the darker the green, the more mineral-rich. Spinach, kale, anything dark green is going to be really high in minerals. And of course, spirulina and all those superfoods are really high in alkalinity. That's why a lot of times, because our diet is so acid and we're so used to that, even though we feel sick and we get those colds, the colds are a way of getting rid of the acid. It's kicking it out of your body. It's kicking the mucus out. And when you go raw, you get feeling sick because your homeostasis gets thrown off. Your body's used to being at like 4.5 versus up at the 7s. So you suddenly throw all this 7.0 alkaline food in and your body's like, whoa! And it also says, it's time to cleanse. She's finally feeding me something healthy. I'm going to cleanse. And so you feel sick thinking, oh, maybe raw foods aren't so good for me. That's what's happening, is your body is alkalizing, but it's also getting a little thrown off.
Can you eat too much alkalized food?
Can you eat too much alkaline food? It's very rare. There is a thing called alkalosis where people get too alkaline, but it usually has more to do with just an imbalance in their body versus eating alkaline foods. Breathing air is probably acid forming, except for in Hawaii, but anywhere there's traffic is acid. So a lot of the things you do from day to day are acid forming. So eating all the alkaline foods is not going to make you too alkaline. You could just maybe get there too quickly if you get really zealous and go totally like all green. It could be a little too fast, and that could hurt your body if you go too fast. Question?
Make soaked quinoa or
soaked quinoa, grains. I do quinoa and I do buckwheat because those are alkaline grains. Quinoa, buckwheat, and millet are 3 alkaline grains. Millet's hard to eat raw, but buckwheat and quinoa sprouted are delicious. They're like a rice and things, so they're great. Yeah, thanks for asking. Okay, so now